Hello everybody and welcome to TrishRockTV and Energy Shift. Changing energy, shifting perceptions. I'm Trish Rock, perception disruptor and intuitive success mentor. Today's guests are one of the most passionate and in-service couples that I know. They live their highest, truest selves daily, and I'm proud to call them my friends. Jenny and Gary have been happily married now for 35 years. They've got 3 boys and 2 grandsons. And Jenny is a transformational facilitator that specialises in intuitive energy healing and conscious coaching. Her John of God crystal light healing bed supports her clients to let go of the energy blocks that are holding back their success and happiness. And Gary has become a sacred artist and in truth is a jack of all trades.
Definitely.
He built their beautiful retreat over 2 years ago and enjoys freedom to be every day. Jenny and Gary went through what they call the dark night of the soul journey, which saw them lose everything they had worked 30 years to acquire, including their family home. One son had cancer. The other amputated his fingers in a workplace accident. After 5 years of crazy challenges, Jenny finally asked God, "What have I done wrong? Am I really a good person?" And the answer was returned, "Nothing. Are you ready to listen?" So she shares she wanted the wisdom of understanding the journey of the mind compared to the soul-focused path, but she also did not want her privileged life to change. This was not to be. Everything changed. Their journey saw them go to Brazil in 2012 for 6 weeks to work with John of God, a medium healer with 50 years of supporting individuals' healing and process. Here, the guidance and clarity they got helped turn their life around. Today, seeing them both living their passion and manifesting a lifestyle they thought would cost millions, but they were wrong. Jenny knew and understood that when she found a new way to view what was happening and the potential gifts these experiences offered, everything changed. Jenny is a transformational facilitator, an intuitive energy healer supporting remembering. She's the soul whisperer. She's an author, EFT and NLP practitioner. She has a diploma of life coaching and counselling. She's also a Robert Kiyosaki Rich Dad facilitator. She's been featured in Dale Beaumont's bestseller, Secrets of Property Millionaires Exposed. And she's also been featured in 2 other books, Cup of Cappuccino for the Entrepreneur Spirit and the Book of Wellbeing. Welcome, Jenny and Gary.
Well, you said it all, so thanks very much.
That's a lot when you...
Yeah, well, you've both been on such an incredible journey, and I can't wait to have you share this with others. You truly are both inspiring, and you've got so many stories to tell. So why don't we start just, talking a little bit about, when your lives did change, when everything did turn around in the beginning in that horrible way, but now it's actually, that it's turned around in a beautiful, magical way.
Wow. Where to start? Look, honestly, I can remember sitting on the couch being unable to get off and even go out to the letterbox to get the mail, and Gary said to me, "Why haven't you emptied the letterbox?" Because I was so scared of the bills and everything that was demanded of me that I really didn't know how to cope.
Yeah.
So it truly was one step, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And just allowed the universe to support whatever needed to happen. So one little story would be that we owed what I perceived quite a decent tax bill.
Yeah.
And I was just so scared to ring the accountant. She was waiting for me all the time. There was letters coming in the mail. And I just decided, look, just do it and let's find out how bad things are and then I'll deal with it. And it ended up that I wasn't used to getting a tax return. So when you lose money, you actually don't make a profit, and they have to give you some money back.
Oh, bonus.
That was, it was just enough to pay the tax bill and pay the accountant the fee.
Beautiful.
So I'd been sitting on the couch procrastinating, so scared to move forward.
Yeah.
And all it really needed for me was to take a step towards a resolution. And then obviously the universe supported that next phase. So
Oh, it was exciting before then. I picked up the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't know if I'm a rich dad or poor dad now, but I was more dissatisfied with life. I was on the treadmill of life. I had a big business. I was making a lot of money. But I wanted more. I didn't have the freedom. I was in slavery to debt with a car, the house, and just everyday costs.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to look for ways of making more money and trusting other people, which was very interesting. Because when we trusted more people, we got into more of a mess.
trouble.
Yeah.
Because we were buying into other people's money psychology, which back then we didn't understand. We didn't understand money as energy compared to money as a resource to buy stuff.
Yeah, when the two of us worked together, it was magical. We had 35 homes at one stage, and then I heard something like, "Oh, leverage yourself," and then we went into a big deal, and that's when everything sort of fell apart. Instead of just being happy with the two of us, weren't we? Just when we were doing it together, we were such a magical couple, weren't we?
I think when I realised that I really didn't understand being grateful for what we had, how blessed we were, because the whole thing is if you don't know anything different, you don't know how to perceive it. So in the losing of the so-called material wealth, there was this incredible understanding that I hadn't been appreciative. And then I'd got caught in the ego of chatter of wanting more. And obviously what goes up comes down.
We thought the millions would give us a lifestyle to have penthouses in New York, London, Sydney, or, all the major cities. And it was interesting that now we don't have much money. We have the lifestyle that we dreamed of, didn't we?
It's just kind of crazy.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because, even millionaires doesn't mean they're happy. And, you guys are now happy no matter what. So, I think in the natural course of things, you will end up, being those millionaires again. But, it's not going to it's not going to be the biggest thing in your life. It's going to be like, yeah, we've got $1 million in the bank, but you know what? We're so happy we're in this place that we built ourselves and we love it. And, it's going to have a different energy.
We're Godzillionaires now.
Yeah. Because we actually just attract whatever it is that we need when we need it. It really is the magic of understanding true abundance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't own anything. We don't own much.
We don't own much.
But it's the freedom of having no debt. Because debt was putting me into the slavery system.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I think that's what people are satisfied with life at the moment. They realise they're in this slavery system, which is by design, by the way. So, we just suddenly started to have a go to the edge and see what happens. Because when we lost our house, we didn't know what was going to come next.
Yeah.
No, the no debt has had a level of freedom that is unbelievable. No, we can't buy a whole lot of doodads the way we used to. But boy, the contentment and happiness is beyond a price that any money will ever give.
Absolutely. Yes. And I'm a bit the same too. And, the less things that, you kind of accumulate, the less debt you have, the less issues. And, not everything appears what it does on the surface when you see people with supposedly everything, because it also comes with a big debt usually underneath all of that. And then they become, like you guys, slaves to that debt. And it's very stressful, and then you can't enjoy those actual things that you've got.
Well, there's actually a lot of my clients who are quite wealthy, and then they have a fear of losing that, or the system that they've created to give them the wealth then has stolen their time. And they're not necessarily young couples, they might be in their 50s, and they're starting to say, is this it? Is this all there is? So
Yeah.
I think one of the big shifts in my contextual belief system was I used to think that life was happening to me.
Yeah.
And that was very much a journey where you become the victim and you become at the effect. When I actually started to understand that life was serving me to grow to be my greatest potential, then it doesn't matter what happens. I kind of half expect life to go pear-shaped every now and again, because that means I am alive and I am learning and I am growing.
That's right.
Exciting.
And you're listening to the signs. You're listening and you're hearing the signs that, hey, no, let's go on this path instead. This one will be better.
I don't know where the next path's going to be. That's it. We wake up every day. I don't wear a watch anymore. And we just don't know what's going to happen. We just go with the flow of life. We put no pressure on each other.
Yeah.
We do what we want to do. So if I paint or I build things or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not answerable to anybody.
Yeah.
Most people want to please others. So we tend to look after ourselves, don't we? We just,
it's how we say, what will bring a smile to your dial.
Absolutely.
It might be going out for coffee. It might be meeting with a beautiful new client.
Yeah.
Could be sunrise in the, seeing a beautiful sunrise. We see your beautiful pictures when you put them on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's little. It doesn't cost anything, does it? It's just,
no, it takes a while to get to that. To get to that energy and that perspective takes a little while and a lot of inner work, though, too, doesn't it? Because I'm sure when everything changed and you lost everything, there's those resentments and those feelings of bitterness and why me, and am I not good enough, and why this, and how am I going to get back there, and I can't just, like you just said, waking up and you don't care. Like back then, that wouldn't have been your energy. You would have been like, well, what am I going to do now? So it's taken a lot of
my big, one of my big things was being ashamed.
Yeah.
Of how could have I been so stupid? How could I not have seen how blessed I was and honoured that, compared to making some of the decisions that were ego-driven?
Very much so. Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the time, so
you only know what you know. Yeah.
My would be you're only ever choosing the best you know how.
Absolutely.
And to be gentle on yourself, even when things go a bit pear-shaped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's about, as you're saying, do the healing work, do the release of energy work, find out what's the hidden blessing. And that's where Soul Insights came from. It was, what was our soul trying to guide us and tell us?
Yeah. And you couldn't have imagined doing what you're doing now back then, could you? You would have kind of thought, no way.
We thought
you didn't even know that you could paint, Gary.
Well, no, exactly. Well, I've always enjoyed, but when I was in the system, I couldn't be creative. It didn't allow me to have the time to be creative. So if people out there want to paint or some passion they have a go. Give yourself give yourself the freedom to do it. It's not just about chasing money, which I thought it was. I mean, I did 38 years of chasing money. And I said to God I was going to retire at 53, which I did, but he didn't send me the $2 million to go with it.
We said, be definite with the infinite. Make sure you put a monetary amount.
It's so interesting, isn't it? I set a goal and I was going to retire at 53, which I did. But it's interesting. We don't have much money, but our life is so much more valuable now. And so for people out there that have a goal and just relax with it, it'll come. But it was just, we laugh at it now because at the time everyone thought we were just nuts, weren't we? We're just, well, you've got nowhere to live, you don't own anything, what's wrong with you? And it's this ownership. You don't own a great deal. But
it really puts you in it's the way people I say judge, but it's the way they kind of grade you, I guess. They put you in a category. Oh, well, you don't have all that stuff now, so okay, well, how are we going to get along if you don't have that stuff the same as I have this stuff? We're not going to be a match. How am I going to deal with that? And then it all kind of goes back onto you, like you're the ones to blame. Right? So,
But they sense a different vibration, a different energy from the two of us, don't they?
People will say, you know, I'm just so calm. How can that be when the reality fit to their story?
Absolutely. Yeah, the calmness has come with hard work, though, for you guys. It didn't happen overnight. But you know, you work with people who also now have this calm, so it's doable for anybody. And you know, the calm and the peace is doable for everybody, no matter where they are and what their circumstances are.
It's a perception of, is life helping you to grow, even through the challenges, or do you perceive it as to you?
Yes.
That's a huge shift.
Yeah, we could have been victims, we couldn't really. We could have blamed our, you know, we're the victim, but we decided no, we took responsibility for what happened.
Absolutely.
And we don't have the calmness, because we know what's going to happen from day to day. We don't fear the future.
Absolutely.
We have that calmness that people, they do sense that we are different.
Yeah.
But we've all got that gift inside us, you know.
Exactly.
Just need a little bit of remembering.
And you guys have built that beautiful retreat there. For those of you who are listening, I've been there. It's just the most amazing spot that they manifested. And then they've built this amazing house there, which is really their healing and painting, and they just do everything there and have their people come. But it's the hill or the mountain near there is really special too, and it's a really high energy, lots of history there with circles, and it's just a really magical place that you manifested. You could not have bought that place. Do you know what I mean? Like if you had the money and you said, right, we've got all the money in the world, you wouldn't have found that place.
Oh,
it's interesting. We kind of stopped even setting goals, because this was a really big lesson that we couldn't have dreamt. So for people who are watching, we were more a corporate background. You know, we had different businesses and that all went pear-shaped after the GFC. And I couldn't have said to the universe, oh, I want to live on 100 acres and build a retreat and live a life of motivating others to grow and to evolve. My concept couldn't have even gone there.
No.
I mean, I think all as I was asking was some sort of relief, but underneath, I've always had the desire to understand emotion, to understand this journey of life. Yeah. So there was a need to let go of an old way of being to actually remember and uncover a new way. And the universe said, well, you know, you can't stay in the city. You've got to get away from everything that you've known. And they plonked us on 100 acres.
We don't own the 100 acres. And the building came from the tennis centre for $3,000.
Yeah.
And I, you know,
amazing.
I changed it all. But it's, it's just really, when going to John of God, it was actually ourselves doing the work.
Yeah.
We went to John of God to see, but when the 6 weeks we were there, we meditated. We actually, we
connected to part of ourselves that we had forgotten.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I ever question the non-physical aspects of myself, after that amount of time of giving to yourself to heal and to connect, there was no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then really started happening.
So I do feel like I'm a rich dad. It's you know, it's rich in a way. It's rich in just the knowledge we've been through, what we've experienced, and coming out the other side. The richness is in it, you know, inside me that, well, it resonates in my paintings. You know, it comes out that, you know, the beautiful colours, the brightness.
Absolutely.
I just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know, I've just done a painting. You know, I've just done a painting for 5 days. I've just rubbed it all out, just repainted it again. You know, now suddenly there's a new painting coming. It's really beautiful. So, you know, for 5 days, I'm into detail, and then suddenly I don't like it, so I'll white it all out. You know,
why not?
But I don't give myself a hard time. I say, oh well, to be a master, I'm sure we've all been through this.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem in this, there's ups and downs, and there always will.
Yes.
So I was going to ask you. Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
ask you how you stay in alignment as individuals with your energy and also as a couple, but you know, you're kind of answering that as we're going along, because painting and really getting out of the drama of any human stuff really keeps you in alignment, Gary. And
Yes.
you know, and that's even without thinking that you're doing that. It's automatically just doing that for you now.
Yeah, it is. It just comes with the flow. When I might see a painting, or I see a morning sky, I take a picture and I'll try and repaint it, sort of thing. It just gives me ideas.
That's kind of your meditation.
Yeah.
Gary goes in there and just focuses on that, whereas I might actually do a meditation myself in my own room in the mornings.
Okay.
And depending on where I'm at, I do energy clearing of myself on an energetic field and expand my energy field, and depends what's happening in the world. If I'm feeling a little bit off sorts, I'll actually check in and see how much is actually mine and how much am I picking up of global consciousness.
Yeah.
Because as this shift, as the world moves, sometimes we're picking up more of other people's stuff, and yes, we can do healing work on that, but it's good to know that it's not all you.
Absolutely. And whenever, you know, love is rising in the world, which means fear is also rising. So when we see these tragedies happening, there's a lot of sadness energy, a lot of anger, a lot of grief that we pick up on, because it's all energy waves. And when you can kind of really, you know, that's getting in alignment too. It's like, okay, well, is this mine or is it not mine? So do I need to suffer this? Is it mine or not? Can I let it go?
Yeah.
You know, be in alignment.
Yeah.
And it's always a little bit mine. It might be 10% mine.
Yeah.
So I'll just do a quick healing process, tune in, see if it's got any wisdom for me, and then I just allow it to dissipate and go. But I hold space for it, because it's up to remind me, or you know,
absolutely.
I don't think it's not partly mine.
Well, pushing it. Yeah. Sorry, Gary.
No, we don't. No, we're always talking to each other, aren't we? We're always discussing what we think. You know.
And is this how you guys stay in alignment as a couple then? Because I know I know in a lot of couples, you know, they start playing the blame game, or you know, you're feeling bad one day for some reason, and then it always becomes the other person's fault, and then it just this big thing happens out of nothing, which really should have started with, you know what, I'm just feeling a little bit today. Maybe I need some space, or maybe you can help me talk through it, or whatever it is I'm clearing, and kind of bring it back to yourself. So is that how you guys stay in alignment as a couple as well? I know that you would have the occasional fight, nothing all sunshine and roses, but you know, how do you stay in that beautiful alignment of understanding?
Pretty unusual to actually have a fight. We may go out of sorts, and then, as you say, you have your own space, but we have an understanding of the no blame.
Yeah.
And I know that if something happens, that Gary says something, that yes, he may be the trigger, but as soon as I've realized I'm feeling annoyed or I'm feeling angry, the anger's mine. The actual trigger evaporates.
Okay.
Now, later on, we might talk about the fact, well, when you said that, I felt this.
Yes.
But I know it's my stuff, and I know I need to go find out what is it about that actually got me for those few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a
what
few.
do you do?
I have to be consciously aware, because I can be the bully, and so I have to stop before I say anything, because it's interesting. You know, my first reaction is to say, "Oh, blah blah blah." Well, really, it's really it's my issue, not Jenny's.
Yeah.
So I tend to stop, just wait before I judge. Because judgment is something that. Well, it's funny, this morning we just put the fire on today, and I thought Jenny dropped all the logs all over the floor, and I thought I was going to say something. I thought no, just it's an accident. Anyway, I went out and got some, and I dropped them on the floor. So, it's funny, isn't it?
I love it.
So, and even driving the car and things like that, but we tend not to argue a great deal. That we're very fortunate that we are good soulmates.
We had a little process at the beginning when we first, because we didn't really understand anything about victim bullies and all this.
Yeah.
And one of my coaches, Gary, had the bully energy, and I hadn't really understood it, and he hadn't seen it. And so in the very beginning, I said that I would just put my hand up whenever I felt the bully energy coming towards me.
Okay.
And we had an agreement that at that moment we wouldn't talk about it, because we knew that we were both a little bit triggered. That we would have space and both deal with, number one, how we felt and what was said, why we actually said whatever. And it only ever happened a couple of times, and there was a little bit of a pattern of maybe some level of fear or some, you know, as we say, a judgment. But it was just a matter of put the hand up, and with the hand up didn't mean there was any judgment or whatever. It was just meaning, hang on a tick, I'm feeling something that I need some time to process. So just separate and then come back within 24 hours and talk about the insights that came.
Yeah.
How did you feel? What was it about that was challenging? And how could we do it differently moving forward?
Yeah.
So we don't have silent, we don't do the silent treatment. If anyone's got anything to say, which
You just
say it, come off.
Yeah.
Okay to say what to say.
So it's creating
It's such a conscious way of living, isn't it? It's a really conscious way of living. And I guess if there was a big difference between how you were living and how you're living now, it's being really conscious and really aware of everything.
Well, if you look at the TV shows like My Kitchen Rule and all these, you know, The Bachelor, whatever, it's all about attacking the other person, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So it becomes a way of life, doesn't it, for most people? They just consciously. So for me, when I was told I was a bully, oh no, I'm not, and then I realised I was. So just the frustration of having family and all that's going on.
Yeah.
And then to now, just before I say something, stop.
Check in. And for people that don't know, this is the triangle of bully, rescuer, and what's the other one? Victim. Yeah, and we can all take on those roles, all of them in one day, a couple of times. But to know where you are in that triangle and how you're creating another character is a real awareness, and it's a great awareness to have. Yeah.
Well, it's like cooking some toast. I mean, I've cooked toast, do I not?
Do you?
Yes. When my wife tells me how do I react now? So it's like 5, 4, 2, 1, you know. So little habits that people have got that you think, oh, you know, it's.
And it just comes from living with another person. I mean, everybody does things differently. But it's a shame with these new TV shows that they're actually showing people that to argue and confront each other and to judge and blame, and it's a shame. Because I've actually got clients who have come and who have said their parents are divorced, their grandparents are divorced, they don't know what a healthy relationship where there's a dance between the couples, they don't even know what it looks like.
No,
it's
absolutely. Yeah. So I know that you guys work as a couple, because I've been there and learnt with you as a couple. So do you want to tell the people who are listening what you do and how you help people as a couple, because you also have couples come to your home as well as individuals?
Yeah, we have. Some you'll work with one. I will work with one partner first.
Yeah. And
then maybe the other partner's not quite ready. So, but when they are, they can come and live here for a few days and just kind of get some clarity of how to view a relationship as a dance where you support each other and grow together.
Yeah.
So we've had them come for 3 and 4 days.
Yeah.
About finding that love. What did you love about each other in the beginning? Where's it gone?
Yeah.
Let's find it again. Where did the stories go?
Yeah, that's mainly it. People have forgotten how to love each other.
Yeah.
Just with everyday life. You know, why they married their partner so many years ago.
I had one gentleman ring up like they went home on Monday, and he rang up a few days later and he said, "You sent me home with the girl that I married." And I just broke into tears.
That's beautiful.
Reconnected. There's no judgment. It's about allowing a safe space to converse so they can understand each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So I
I
do a lot of-
wasn't there as a couple. I was just there as an individual. But you know, you guys do amazing work directed to what people need at the time. It's not cookie cutter. It's really talking out, and you guys just work amazingly because you talk it out with each other to find the best solution for the person you're helping. I find it incredibly fascinating, and you know, you are working on an individual level for the couples, but also as that unit as well. And you know, and people have that respect and that kind of, you're coming from a place of integrity and authenticity because you guys do it. You're an example.
Yeah, exactly. We've actually lived through it. So
yeah,
well, our training is mainly just through work experience. So
absolutely, which is better than a book sometimes, right? Because you've lived it.
And I mean, remembering that we used to be Rich Dad instructors, so there's a lot of the getting through the normal, or the world day-to-day life. We've got a lot of clarity about that.
Yeah.
And then me personally, you mentioned the soul whisperer.
Yeah.
I really am able to listen to the voice of your soul that actually can help understand, get clarity of where we've got some mixed messages, especially if you've got, you know, you've got two souls and they're both wanting to dance.
Yeah.
Being able to have that gift and then do the healing work with the crystal bed, it's just a magical package.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know what to do in life at the moment. They're really struggling just with everyday living.
Absolutely.
So that's to give them a balance and just give them a aha moments where they go, oh yeah, I never thought it that way. You know?
Yeah.
Shifting content.
Very good at that sort of thing. The other side
absolutely. Well, yeah, so I've got all your links here for people to connect with you, but don't suppose you want to show us one of your paintings, Gary? Do you have one prepared? But wait, I have one prepared. So Jenny does amazing work with the John of God crystal bed, and I've personally had a few treatments. It's amazing, not just the energy experience, but the shift that you get and the help that you get from the energy that shows up and the help that you get from Jenny to decipher all of that and to really it clears the way, doesn't it, Jenny? It clears the way for clarity.
I've actually understood now, after using it for nearly 7 years, is it helps you get beyond your resistance to healing yourself. Perfect.
Yeah.
So, because we all have the ability to heal ourselves. We are all amazing healers. We've just forgotten how.
Absolutely.
So that resistance to the belief that you could heal yourself, the crystal bed supports break through those stories. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's an incredible tool and a beautiful energy that comes with it. It's a very special piece of equipment.
With the facilitator.
And the facilitator, that's it. And so I see your painting there, Gary. Show us one of your. So for everybody, who's listening, Gary's the most amazing artist, and he really you just see something and you paint it. It's incredible, and it looks beautiful. I love it.
I'll show you the other one. The new one I've just changed.
These ones have probably got enough 30 or 40 hours of work.
I can just see that is just going to be stunning. Yeah. And so I'll put a link up for your paintings too, because Gary sells his paintings, so if you're listening to this, you may like to purchase one of his paintings. Do you do commission work as well?
Yeah, absolutely. He's done a few commission. So we'll put some more up on Gary's Facebook page to let people see. We haven't done that very
And I just had a thought. I reckon you would love painting someone's wall inside their house, wouldn't you, Gary?
Oh yeah. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. So do you guys have any last messages for people who are listening? Anything you want to
No.
say, or?
Probably my biggest thing is to find one thing each day that really puts a smile on your face. Like, people talk about passion and purpose and all these things. I'm more into what interests you, what would actually put a smile on your face today, and go do it.
Yeah.
And out of that comes the next opportunity and the next but don't get too bogged down in getting it right, because fun is the journey.
Exactly, and just be relaxed.
Yeah.
God will send you something, you know.
Because a lot of people do get caught up in the purpose, don't they? What's my purpose? I don't know my purpose, you know, but it's that joy. What can bring you joy right now? Yeah.
Yeah, people are pushing, aren't they? Trying harder and harder, and they say, "Oh, I haven't got clarity." Well, just relax for a while.
It's the need to be in control. That's their agenda.
Absolutely.
And the interesting thing is, in this life, there is no control.
And there's no agenda. It's only the agenda we imagine.
Thank you for letting us share our story. We've really enjoyed it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for being a guest here. And if you're listening to this, if you want to connect with Jenny and Gary and go do some amazing work with them, you can either go there in person to their beautiful retreat. It's gorgeous. You've got to go. But they will work. You will work, you know, it doesn't matter where you live. You can do work with Gary and Jenny. And but if you do have the opportunity to go there for a retreat at their place, it really is beautiful, and yeah, you won't regret it. I just still feel the energy of that mountain you've got there. It's just amazing. And just all the other aspects is beautiful. So yeah, so connect with Jenny and Gary, and yeah, really get some peace in your life and get some alignment. And you guys are just a testament to, no matter what life throws at you, there's an answer. There's another way.
Always.
Beautiful.
Always.
Well said.
Thanks very much, and bye everyone. And we'd love to connect.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. I will see you next week for our next show. Bye for now.